Hello, this is Sharon Pierce for Near Desert Experience, NDE. This is the 10th of December, 2024. NDE began in March of 2024, and I prepared a brief conclusionary sort of episode 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to add a little bit to it now. Just to say there are some Pacific storms coming up this week, several of them. They're going to have the strongest impact up in Northern California and Southern Oregon, they think. But the one over the weekend, this is Tuesday, the one over the weekend will probably come down south, at least into the Bay Area and over a little ways. They're not expecting anything big coming into the desert areas of Southern California yet. They had a big, input of water in November. So if they don't get much in December, they figure that's okay because the reservoirs are essentially full. But they do want to see more water in January and February, and they think that it's still going to be coming in for the early 2025 season. So there have been no major impacts. The water districts are all over, they're out and about, and you can find out all sorts of information about what they're doing, and people are becoming involved with the water districts because of the news that's coming out. People are watching what's happening and what the water districts are doing and the water tables and who is getting what water. There's a story about a big conservation effort that was funded last year and is beginning to develop at the south end of the Salton Sea in southeast California, and that's beginning to take shape. Some of the lakes up in Northern California have been decimated by the years of drought and they weren't taken care of. So now people are doing what they can to rejuvenate those, because with the restoration of healthy lakes and rivers and aquatic underground rivers and wells and so forth, and the refilling of dry lakes and dry sinks, come aquatic life and aviary life. The birds and the fishes and the small little animals that linger around these areas are making a strong comeback. Give them a little water and they will come. And so that is happening. So there are good signs everywhere. Much as they say, people who don't live in California like to malign it, but it is the most powerful state in the union, and it does have a lot going for it. It has a lot of minerals, has lots of things in the mountains, but it also has water. Its entire west coast is on the Pacific Ocean. So it has a lot. I guess this can't be shared, what I'm looking at now. And I don't know how to bring that up. Too bad, too. So I'm going to put it away, but it's basically showing, there was an AccuWeather site that was showing the flow for the supposed water rivers, storms that are coming in. So we don't have much up here today on the whiteboards. Let me see if I can get something. No, it doesn't look like I'm going to get into AccuWeather. Oh, well, maybe I can. Let us see. Let us see what we can see. You are screen sharing, and um, Where is it? Well, there's just nothing there that I can bring up right at the moment. It's all quite dry, just to point out. And we'll put that away. So the water districts are being very active, and it's a post-political season. There's a lot going on elsewhere. As a matter of fact, in Great Britain, there's storm after storm and flood after flood. Great Britain is pretty much an island. It shares the island with Scotland and Wales. And adjacent to it is another slightly smaller island called Ireland and Northern Ireland. So they're being hit with lots of water, and they're figuring out what that means for them, evidently, because it's flooding. Different districts are flooding, and really, it seems to be in the Midlands, the middle of the country, and the south a little bit, and southwest. So Europe is experiencing what Mother Nature has to bring in powerful storms off the ocean, the icebergs, the ice, the North Pole, and the ice is beginning to melt. I mean, it's not beginning to melt, it's continuing to melt. And more water in the oceans. Now, there are big water disturbances out in the Philippines and Indonesia. A number of storms are coming across there, about 7 of them. They will contribute to the storms that are coming to the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, but whether all of them will come this far, but it's not clear, but do not be surprised to hear about major flooding and storms in and around the Hawaiian Islands and the Philippines and Japan. That is all building up right at this time. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Okay, so I think I can bring up something else here that I want to share. Well, let's see. Yeah, share. Right here. Share. Okay, so Newsweek has been reporting weather news and water news, and it is reporting that a recent study published in Science Advances says that there's a latitudinal shift in the water current flow where it used to hit California is moving to the north and northeast. So it hits Northern California, Oregon, Washington, and then British Columbia and Alaska with deluges of atmospheric rivers. And this water is coming from Southeast Asia, and once it goes up and over around the pole, it comes down to the United Kingdom and Great Britain. So the implications are far-reaching. Places like British Columbia and Alaska are experiencing more frequent deluges, leading to heightened risks and potential infrastructure damages. And here's an example out of, this was Los Angeles last winter. That was an example. The study identifies cooling in the eastern tropical Pacific as a driver of this. Areas of California, like southern regions, could worsen water scarcity. They don't know really for sure. This shift can significantly affect water resources, so it makes it crucial for local governments to adapt to these weather changes. The shift also poses concerns for the Arctic region, where increased moisture can accelerate sea ice melt. These systems are responsible for up to 36% of the observed summer moisture across the Arctic. So they're creating a loop back that could further amplify global warming. The shift to the poles will continue, they think, where atmospheric river land depends largely on whether the Pacific Ocean is an El Niño or La Niña. Predicting these patterns is challenging, they say, but natural climate variations appear to be the primary force behind these changes. Natural climate variations. Human-induced global warming is expected to intensify the impact of atmospheric rivers in the future. So we will eliminate this. Go back here. Yes, I know I stopped the screen sharing. Sometimes it's a little slow to get a thing going. I will be relocating out of this particular area, and I'll be somewhere nearby, but somewhere more centrally located so that I can move about over the highways and byways of California and the West. And I'll be continuing to show some of the things that have been going on. So just a minute. I'm going to stop this one more time. Well, that was the way. I did record something, but it wasn't recorded. Just a moment. I'm going to try something here where I will just read headlines from the Daily Digest, Maven's Notebook, Breaking California Water News, and I'll just do the headlines from December 2nd. Today's the 10th. So environmental groups claim state water project will harm endangered fish in the environment. Reductions in the state water project deliveries expected to continue. California water experts prepare for climate whiplash. Decommissioning looms, and Potter Valley faces urgent water challenges. On the 3rd, the Department of Water Resources sets initial water project allocation at 5%. Oroville has a sudden change in the water level. Metropolitan Board considers the pros and cons of the Delta Conveyance Project. Report finds decline in almond acreage, but exports remain steady. The EPA urges California to safeguard what? Tribal cultural practices by preserving delta flows. Groups work to widen the water engagement. Special session brings uncertainty to water policy for California farmers. And so Trump is going to have to deal with some crises when he comes in. California farmers are hopeful his administration will deliver more water to the fields. Well, Mother Nature is delivering more water to the fields, too much water. So basically that's kicking in other interests, preservation and conservation, and that's why the reduction in farmland. Finding water for the San Joaquin Valley, Kern County desert groundwater battle may head to the state Supreme Court. California conservation efforts have raised Lake Mead, that's in Nevada, by 16 feet in 2 years, regulators say. On the 6th of December, understanding water available for recharge in the Central Valley, why timing for the biggest rain and snowfall matters, the science of snowmaking, crafting Tahoe's winter wonderland. And widening this, California water managers are deadlocked on the Colorado River. Now, the Colorado River users with focus on Mexico and tribes, annual ocean indicators point to varied conditions for the Pacific salmon. So what's going to happen now with more water flowing through the Colorado River? This is a big deal. It's in Dr. Paul Ruiz's congressional district and also up in Jay Overholt's district. So how this is going to be worked out will be very interesting, but Mexico has an interest. And all those who have interest in the Colorado River water will be interested in what they do down here in Southeast California. The future of Kern River hydroelectric power is in question. Water rights agreements will save $20 million, they say, to help protect the Colorado River. The impacts of non-native fish on salmon population in the San Joaquin River is an issue. Rapid weather turnaround this week. This came out yesterday. They say farm runoff may be tied to respiratory illness near the Salton Sea. Congress reaches an agreement on the 2024 Water Resources Act. And today, a big moment for the Delta. That's right here. Examining City and County of San Francisco versus the EPA. The longfin smelt joins the celebrated ranks of the federal ESA. But can it recover? What happened in Vegas? Nothing. And so forth. So this is all about water. It's the Daily Digest, been published since 2013. It's called Maven's Notebook. And the main, we're not going to see the main page here, but we will just stop sharing. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you for listening. And this is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024.